Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to Virtual Heroes series. I am Natalie King, and I am the VA Confidence Coach. And today, I am delighted to introduce you to Leo Czerwinski. I've most probably got that wrong. She is a general VA, but she specializes in keeping her clients accountable. Now, who does not need to be kept accountable? She's based in Norwich, and that is in Norfolk, if nobody knows. So welcome, Leo, to the Virtual Hero series. Would you like to say hi?
Hi, Natalie. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for saying yes to this. I know that you were a little bit nervous, and this is a little bit out your comfort zone, but this is a safe space, and it's you and I having a conversation. So thank you so much for giving up your evening and just being here with me and celebrating all things VA. First of all, I'm really passionate about giving a voice to VAs and a platform to showcase the skills and the expertise that VAs have and the way to do it. And there's a car that's just making a horrendous noise outside. So I'm just going to close the window quickly. The great thing is this isn't edited. There we go. So one of the things I was saying is this is a platform for VAs to showcase what they do. And this is for other business owners to really see how powerful and what an asset VAs are. But one thing I come across quite often is misconceptions about VAs and what they do. So my question here is, what misconceptions have you come up against in your VA career?
There's been quite a few that I've actually come up against. One of the most common ones is that people don't understand what we are and what we can do for them. They will think that we are perhaps the PA sort of role that you would get by, in an employed position. But actually, we do a lot more than that. We keep you guys accountable. We're on hand, not quite 24/7, although it's not been unheard of, that late night phone call, because it's the only time you can have a chat to your client. But actually, we do so much for people. We're time savers, I suppose, is the best way of putting it, because as a business, you have so many different hats to wear, particularly if you're a solo entrepreneur. And it's one of those things that you can outsource to us, and we can do the jobs that are time consuming for you to allow you to actually work in doing what you set out to do in your business, the things you're passionate about, but also to actually bring the money in yourself and grow it so that you can scale up. But a lot of people don't realize that that's what we can actually do to help.
You are like an extension of a business.
Yeah. It's like being the back office, I suppose, in that we can do the support, we can take those phone calls, we can get rid of that paperwork, because let's be honest, we all hate paperwork.
Oh, getting rid of that paperwork. I like that very much. So what can be done from business owners like myself to help combat these negative misconceptions?
Have a conversation with a VA. Ask those questions, because as the best way of putting it, I suppose, is there's no stupid question. It's something you learn from. So come and talk to us, come and find out what we can do to help you. You may not even realize what we can do. I've often had conversations with clients and they've suddenly gone, oh, can you do that? And I'm like, yes, of course I can. Wing it over, and we get it done. And whereas it may take the client 2 or 3 hours to do it, because we only have to focus on that one sort of piece of work to do, we can get it sent out so much quicker, because it's kind of like we don't have all the other distractions. we can just focus, get it done, and it's another thing you can tick off your list.
But it's also, if you're doing something, you've obviously know quicker ways of doing it or shortcuts that work, which if it's something that you're not used to, well, in my case, I always find the long way to do something. I'm not ever sure of the shorter and the quicker version, whereas as a VA, you're doing it on a daily basis. You find ways that you can do it just as well, but I'm sure instead of doing it in 10 steps, you can do it in 3 or 4 steps, which again helps with time and everything.
Yeah, so it does. And we've been doing it for years as well. So we've learned all those shortcuts.
You started out with the 10 steps, then went down to 9, 8, down to the 4 or 5. So what got you started doing as a VA?
For me, I was in the legal industry and I was working long hours, and it just wasn't conducive to having a young family. You know, I could be up and out the house before they were up, and I was coming home when they were in bed, and I was missing out on so much. So it was kind of like, do you know what? Let's do something that fits around the children, that fits around their activities. You know, it just it's more, it gives a better home life balance. You know,
and you're working from home, which means that you're there when the kids are home, or you're able to deal with something at home, and it, like you said, it gives you that better work-life or life-work balance, whichever way you like to look at it.
Yeah.
So what have been some of the stumbling blocks that you've encountered on your VA journey that can help any new VAs or other VAs out there?
Stick to your guns, know your worth. Know,
very important.
You know, because so often people will come to you and they'll ask you your fees, and then they'll say, oh, that's really expensive, or, you know, well, I can get somebody else that's much cheaper doing it. But you need to know your worth, because if you're prepared to not devalue yourself, that's the wrong phrase, but if you're prepared to drop your fees to get a client, you know, that's not necessarily sending out the right message. You've got to think
that is a form of devaluing yourself, because you are dropping your prices that you've set for a reason to suit someone else.
Yeah.
And it is a form of devaluing what you offer.
Yeah. You know, you've got to think that you wouldn't walk into a solicitor's and then give you a bill and, you know, they tell you their hourly rate and you go, well, I'm not paying that. I'm going to pay half of that. You know, you just wouldn't do it, would you? Or somebody that comes, an electrician or a builder, you wouldn't sit there and say, well, I'm not paying 30 grand for that. I'm going to offer you 15 and expect them to do it for you. You know, as a trade, we are, you know, on the same par as professionals, but often we get viewed as though we're not, but we are. We are professional.
And unfortunately, there are quite a few VAs out there, especially just starting out with not sure of what they're doing, or just insecure or lack of confidence, who will drop their prices. And this is something that I've come across, and it's something that I work with to help VAs to have the confidence to, like you said, say, this is what I charge and this is what I'm going to stick to, because I'm good at what I do. I'm qualified at what I do, or I have the skills of what I do, or whatever reason. But like I said, unfortunately, there's quite a few newer VAs who do allow some business owners to talk them down in price.
Yeah.
Which then makes life for you even more complicated or harder, because they say, yeah, but that one will do it, so why won't you?
Yeah. So it's probably one of the biggest sort of things that we do come up against as a VA is, yes, but I can get it cheaper, or I can go overseas and it's much, much cheaper. And it's like, okay. The other way of looking at it actually is, if you say to somebody, these are my fees, and they want to talk you down, then they're not your right client. You know,
true.
Maybe you're then looking in the wrong area for your clients. That's also the other way of looking at it, is actually, you're not my perfect client.
I like the way you think.
taken a bit of time to get that sort of thought process there, but actually, yes, you know.
So talking about confidence, what does confidence mean for you?
It's being my best, being the best I possibly can be, and serving my clients, you know, and helping them achieve their goals and grow and scale the business. Because after all, we all start out in business to scale, you know, and being able to sit there with a client and watch them scale and smash their goals, you can't beat that.
No.
You know, but if you haven't got the confidence to have those conversations with your clients and say, yes, let's do this, let's, you know, you can do this. So yeah, you've got to put your big girl knickers on.
So tell me a little bit about your confidence journey, you know, as a VA.
To begin with, it was really tough because you hear no, you hear not right now. You do get yeses, but as with all things, you hear a lot of no's before you hear a lot of yeses, and that does grind you down. And you suddenly sit there and think, well, am I worth it? What am I doing wrong? Why are they doing really well, but I'm not? You know, and you get a bit of a comparinitis. But that's probably the worst thing you can do, is like compare yourself to other people, because at the end of the day, people buy from you because they want you. You know, their VAs, every VA is different because their clients are buying them, they're buying into them and what they do. So yeah, it takes a bit of time, but there are lots and lots of like-minded business people out there. Certainly moving away from what I call energy vampires, people that don't necessarily understand your journey, you know, and they're not necessarily intentionally negative, but they might be, and they kind of drag you down, or they're questioning what you're doing, and that does take its toll. But when you find like-minded business people that are cheering you along as well, do you know what? Your confidence grows, because it's like with all things, you need the confidence to have success, and to have success, you need the confidence to do it.
We should circle that
time. Yeah, it does take time, but you know what? You can do it. There are so many great people out there that just want to help and support you, whether that's you know, being on the other end of the phone to have that rant because you've had an absolutely dreadful day, and they sit there going, do you know what, actually, yeah, okay, you've had a dreadful day, but you can do this. And sometimes that's what you need, is to have that buddy, I suppose, is perhaps the best way of describing it. I'm not sure. But yeah, just having people that you can call upon when you're having a really rubbish day.
Somebody in your corner, somebody sort of your cheerleader, you know, just cheering you on, or encouraging you, or giving you a kick up the rear end, because that's sometimes what we need. And you know, when you have the right people in your corner as your tribe, that can really help and boost and encourage you.
Absolutely, so it can.
Yeah. What still blocks you in confidence?
What blocks confidence?
Or where are you still not as confident as you would like to be?
Oh, I don't know. I think sometimes it just depends on how you are feeling on that particular day, you know, because there are some days when you're absolutely like on it, and it's like, yes, I can do this, and you're smashing all your goals out the park. And then another day you get up and you're like, do you know what? No, not today. Just haven't got it today. Yeah, days like that, I just go to bed. I sleep and then I start again. Because, you know, if you're not giving your all, then, you know, that then reflects on you as well. So if you're not feeling it, my advice would be just go to bed, go and do something else, go for a walk, go and, you know, anything that can kind of hit that reset button for you and find that energy and excitement and passion again. And if it takes a couple of days, it takes a couple of days, you know, we all have them days. But yeah, anything that you can kind of hit that reset button and go again.
It's good advice, that. So
it takes a long time to learn it, but you know what, it works.
Well, that's what it is, you know, building a business and just learning. It's about picking up stuff along the way as you go along, and just learning these tricks of the trade almost, and just ways that you can deal with, or putting tools in your toolbox. It depends on who you're talking to. They use all these different analogies.
Yeah, there are some absolutely wonderful business mentors out there. And sometimes it's just your mindset that needs changing, the way you kind of look at something.
Definitely.
You know, and you can get a different perspective, and yes, it might take a little bit of time to get those shifts, but when you do, my God, you just absolutely fly. So yeah, definitely get a good mentor.
So, as you know, I'm a confidence coach, and this is where I get my guests to ask me any question they want about confidence.
Ooh. What if you're in, now you stumped me.
Take your time.
Ooh. If you are of low self-esteem, what is the best daily practice you can do to build the momentum to find your self-esteem and not let other people's opinions, views, attitude impact on you as a person?
That's a good question. So one thing that I'm a big advocate for is affirmations, but it's I am affirmations. And this is one, especially when you're feeling low or your self-esteem is low and you're just thinking, oh my, I can't do this. You've had some negative comments, or you're just feeling really, that's it, I'm done, I quit, or anything, or just having a bad day. Or even, like you say, get up and you just think, it ain't going to happen today. Go back to bed and reset. But one thing you can do, because going back to bed and resetting is not always an option. It's a choice, which would be nice, but it's not always an option. So one thing you can do is I am. I am are the two most powerful words in the dictionary. And it's I am strong. I am confident. I am powerful. I am. And you just put it in there. And what it does is when you say it, is you start to feel it, especially if you stand up, shoulders back. You know, you can even do the superhero pose, hands on hips, feet slightly apart. But if you're sitting, sit up straight. Don't do it like this. I am. You've got to stand up and you just, I am. Just put some power into those words. And you will start to notice a different way of feeling. And then if you do that also with a bit of breathing, so just breathe in, I am strong. I am confident. I am the best VA in the entire world. I am the best mother in the world. I am. And you just say that. What that does is you're telling your brain what you want it to know and to learn. And by just saying I am and say it out loud, not in your head, say it out loud, say it in front of a mirror. And that's just creates that little shift. And when you find your little brain going, no, but you're not. Oh, no, you're not. No, you can't do this. You just like, I am worthy. I am worth the fees that I charge. I am. Whatever it is that you little voice is going, no, you can't do this. You can't. You're not good enough. I am good enough. And it just slowly starts. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit, but it also the more becomes your go-to place. It will start to just go there automatically. And that is one way that you can learn to shift that low self-esteem and to start to, I am. So very powerful words. And you can put them on notices everywhere, post-it notes, put them on screensavers, put them on your phone, put them anywhere that you can actually see them as well. Does that help?
Yeah, I think that's a great tip, because those mind monkeys are pesky things, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They just don't seem to go away.
No, no, they like to pop up at the most impromptu moments as well.
And I am is very powerful, because if you are in a situation where you can't just stand up and like, I am, then you can remind yourself in your head. It's not, if you're in a meeting or somewhere, you can just, I am, you can just say it in your head. But the majority of times, do say it out loud, proud, confident, and put some power into those words.
Yeah, that's some great advice.
So what is the best advice you've ever been given?
What's the best advice I've ever been given? The best advice I've been given would be to look after you. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water and make sure you're getting plenty of rest, because if you burn out, you're no good to man the beast. So yeah, it's about putting you first, and making sure that you're okay, because then you can perform at your best, be the best you, if you know what I mean. And there'll always be that conflict between, that doubt in yourself and the really confident side of you. But actually, if you're making sure that you're hydrated, that you're getting enough sleep, you'll be on it. So that's probably the best advice I've had, actually. And to
That's
make
very good advice.
Always show up.
Because that is good advice.
You've got to make sure that you show up, because if you don't show up, then people start doubting.
Well, that's what they tell you on an aeroplane, isn't it? Put your mask on first before you put it on anyone else's, because if you can't do anything, then how can you help?
Yeah.
So what is the one top tip that you can share with us today?
Ooh, top tip. Being the 8% that says that they will do what they will do would be my top tip. It would be, if you say you're going to do it, then do it. Mm-hmm. If for whatever reason something's cropped up and you can't do it, then let those know that you've spoken to, and say, like, I'm really sorry something's turned up. Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing worse than saying, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then just disappearing into the ether.
So it's being reliable. It's about being reliable, like you said, committing to what you said that you can do.
Yes.
That is a good tip, and that's a good tip for pretty much everyone as well.
Yeah.
So how can people find you?
People can find me on LinkedIn. People can find me across various different social platforms. If you're ever networking, I'm likely to pop up there somewhere as well. You've got to be out and about. Word of mouth is a fantastic thing as well. So, if I'm not at a networking event, there's probably somebody who's heard of me that can point you in the right direction to track me down.
Which, like you said, recommendations is a good form of getting new clients.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best ways of getting clients. When you're like speaking to somebody, they go, oh, I've heard of you. And you go, oh, if it's good. So networking is worth it. I know there's always question marks over it, but you know what? It's not who you know, it's what they know. Because you never know. Who you're going to meet, chance, opportunities. Grab them with both hands, because it could lead to something huge.
Definitely.
So, look for those opportunities, I think, is probably the best thing I can say.
Some more good advice from Leo.
I've been mentored very well.
Mentors and coaches are really great to have.
They are brilliant. You've got to do your research on them, but there are some absolutely fantastic ones there.
And having the right ones that you connect with, and the ones who have the right skills for what it is that you're looking for, definitely.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And it's been great to chat with you and a lot of fun. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching this. And I hope you got some wonderful tips. It's grab opportunities when they present themselves. The bonus tip that we've been given. We've also been given is be reliable. Follow through with what you say you're going to do. And just be who you are. And just find ways that you can keep going and just take those moments. If you're not feeling right, go back to bed and get up again a bit later, and hopefully things will have switched over. So once again, Leo, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for watching. Do subscribe and share this link with anybody. And I will see you again soon. So take care. Bye.